So could you share with us what some of these domestic violence incidents look like when they come to a church?
Yeah, we talked about how most incidents actually happen in a parking lot and outside of event hours. In Indian Wells, California, this is 2020. I have an example of just a horrific one, looking at all the domestic violence together that has spilled over in churches. It's not that uncommon of a scenario. A wife had separated from her husband. She was pregnant. They had a 1-year-old. She had gotten, I think, an order of protection at this time, but had found a safe place to meet. And that was for her, Southwest Church in Indian Wells, California. Met her husband in the parking lot because he had mandatory visits with their 1-year-old daughter. He got into her car with her and said that everybody is dying today and started stabbing his pregnant wife. And then Madeline Rose in the back seat, he grabbed her out of her car seat. Whenever there is another car in this parking lot that saw what was going on, so started honking, which made him quit stabbing his wife. He grabbed Madeline, drove off, wrecked his car, and then threw Madeline to her death over a cliff just down the road.
So you got to believe that, your church arriving to the next service knowing that there has been a murder on the property, and something just as gruesome and as horrible as that one, it's got to affect the whole congregation.
Yeah, and I don't know for sure about this one, if there was anybody at the church that knew that this meeting was going to start. But if you know about something going on, even just a supervised visit, the security team, somebody that has more than a horn to honk should be there.
Sounds like a great ministry for a church to offer supervised visits with people there who can actually supervise it.
The mass murder that I was going to use as an example was another very similar situation. And this was a supervised visit with a dad that was affiliated with this church. He was actually living on church property for a little bit. He had some mental health issues, domestic violence issues. He had a restraining order for his 3 girls and their mom. But there is a stipulation on the restraining order where he could still do supervised visits. The mom was able to choose who the supervisor would be, and she chose a church staff member that had been counseling with him. This is February 28th, 2022. This was the 16th mass murder at a faith-based organization. The father came to the visit, shot and killed his 3 daughters, and the supervisor that was there with them before taking his own life at the church. Again, there is no security. It was a church staff member that was doing the supervised visit.
And so here we really do see that domestic violence incident of a family bleeding over into a church setting, and a church employee ends up losing their life over this. So again, a good reminder there that you need church security at all times, not just in the big services. These are things that are happening throughout the week at smaller times.
Absolutely.